Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion.
The new channel. The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Lloyd Luna and this is The Big Picture. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, wherever you're watching from around the world, particularly in Thailand. Good evening to you. And of course, if you're watching in Singapore, and then good evening to you too. Really happy and inspired tonight because we're going to bring you an episode that will inspire you even more. I have an inspirational conversationalist on the show. Hello, everyone who are tuning in right now. Maria Fe Petaliana, hello, how are you? Thanks for watching Bullet Fair already, or our stream. Along with Nang. And of course, my mom and my dad are watching from Australia. If you're watching our live stream for tonight, please do share our live stream link. Also organize your own watch party, if that is even possible, and share this link to your friends. So if you have chat groups, bombard them with the link so they can join us tonight. Because tonight, we're going to talk about an interesting topic, professional speaking as a career, and what's going to happen to this year's Asia Professional Speakers Convention. Man, Hina is watching. Good evening to you. Wow, everyone is already here. Everyone is already on board. Maybe some others are not yet on board. So if you are having some great time, please do tell us about your day for today. It's a 27th day of August 2020. I guess it's our 6th year wedding anniversary. What about that? Like, I'm not sure. Happy anniversary to us. My wife is working, even if it is our wedding anniversary. We had our dinner here because you cannot dine out yet. I mean, you can dine out, but the threat of COVID-19 is still out there. So we don't want to put things in danger. So we said maybe a dinner inside our house is fine. So we have been missing a lot since our lockdown in March, but then again, things are slowly getting back. And we're going to ask what's going on in Thailand right now because our guest for tonight is coming from Phuket, Thailand. Oh, you talk about Phuket, you talk about beaches, right? How I miss the beaches. Jessica Bustillo, the host of TNC's HR Hotlines, already in the show. Vilya Pring is also watching. So shout out to Luluran Worldwide Distributors. And you can also watch us on YouTube, by the way. So if you are having some difficult time watching us on Facebook, please go to youtube.com/c/TNC now and watch us there. Because if you are chosen as as a lucky someone, and then we're going to give you a gift worth 600 pesos of this item. Watch. All right, washable face mask courtesy of Unisol and TNC. Free delivery within Metro Manila if you watch us on YouTube. Hashtag the new channel or go to youtube.com/c/TNC now and be one of the lucky recipients of our washable face mask courtesy of Unisol. Wow, amazing. Again, please do share our live stream link for tonight. You can also comment or ask some questions down below our comment stream. We appreciate you joining us, engaging with us with us tonight, because we are going to have an English discussion. I cannot do it in Tagalog. So, nosebleed for sure. All right, anyway, before I bring in my guest for tonight, let's read some headlines from our Philippines' first and longest running English newspaper, the Manila Times. Morales resigns. PhilHealth VP also steps down. Duterte has no cancer, according to the palace. Government debt to surpass 10 trillion pesos this year. Concepcion seeks stronger ASEAN support for MSMEs. PH passes 200,000 COVID mark. DOH eyes more labs, isolation facilities. Zamboanga City tightens security. PSEI still at 5,900 amid mixed data. And my weekly column on the Manila Times. What people do speak volumes of who they are. Headlines presented to you by the Manila Times. For more news and information, please go to manilatimes.net or download their application at digitaledition.manilatimes.net. So if you're as excited as I am, maybe I can call my guest for tonight, a lovely young lady, young lady, inspirational and for sure empowering as well. Let's go, women power and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house is Andrea Edwards, certified speaker from Phuket, Thailand. Hi, Andrea. Thanks so much for coming over to the big picture.
Thanks, Lloyd. I'm happy to be here, and you're an inspiration. I love what you're doing. I love how you've been carrying yourself during this time. So you're doing great work.
Thank you so much. So first off, I miss you.
I miss you too, darling.
Yeah, last time we have seen each other is also through online when I interviewed you on my Generational Leadership Summit. Did great. But first, I think we first met in Singapore during the Asia Professional Speakers Convention. That's about
yeah. Right, 3-4 years ago, probably. It was probably at least 18 months since I've seen you in the flesh, if not more. So it's been a long time, right? And yeah, who knows how much longer? So I miss my community. I really do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no one knows. I mean, we don't have any idea as well here in the Philippines. So I just read we just passed the 200,000 cases mark. It's not stopping here. Like in Singapore, and I don't know about Thailand. But first off, how have you been? I mean, this is unprecedented. What happened is something unexpected. We were so excited about 2020, and then again, this happened. How are you?
No, I'm good. For me, I suppose I think about things in a bit of a different way because I always sort of put the layer of the climate crisis over the top of it. So for me, I have a lot of hope because we've been stopped in our tracks by this pandemic, and I know it's really painful. And I know in countries like the Philippines, countries like Thailand, we went up to northern Thailand just recently, and I can see the devastation on people working in the travel and tourism industry in particular. You've got garment workers right across developing countries. People are really, really in dire straits from a financial disability to feed their families perspective, right? So globally, there's a lot of sorrow. But it's an opportunity to rebuild anew. It's an opportunity to rebuild in a different way, to address the imbalances in the world, but also to build a world that's in alignment with Mother Earth. Just the other day, one of my friends, Joanne Flynn, shared an article that for the first time, it was August before we hit the point in the year where we'd already consumed more than the planet could give us. Usually that date is in July, but because of the pandemic and because we've all been locked down, we had an extra month where we weren't taking so much from the world. So that's really important to me. So I think it's an opportunity, and my hope comes from trying to get the message out that we've got to seize this. When we come back from this, we don't go back to exactly what we left. We have to do something new and different. So I am hopeful, but like everybody, it gets exhausting sometimes. It's like it's a long process. When there's usually a crisis, it's a short-term thing. People recover from it, whereas this is long. There's a level of uncertainty about how long it's going to take. People are being very much impacted. I know in the Philippines, you guys are having a really tough time. In Thailand, I think they've done an amazing job. It's been COVID-free. We're probably over 80 days now. We went on a trip up into northern Thailand in July, and we went over to Phi Phi, which is just off Phuket, just at the end of July. Our kids are now back at school. We couldn't be in a better place in the world to get through this time. We've been in lockdown, we were in lockdown from February through to June. So like everybody else, but everyone did the right thing here. It hasn't sort of taken off in the community. I went to visit one of the Burmese migrant workers camps at the end of May. And while economically they've definitely been impacted, COVID hasn't taken off in the community. And I'm still not sure why it hasn't really taken off here. Vietnam's the same. It's had another outbreak, but is it the heat? Is it the way people live? No one really knows why some places get it bad and some places don't. So, but I do feel very lucky that we're here, and we've got a swimming pool. We can be outdoors. We can be in the sun. So, from a lifestyle perspective, I think Thailand's absolutely way up there.
So you're not required to wear a mask. I mean, even
everywhere you go. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, I'm curious how you handle the first few days and few weeks of the quarantine, because in my case, I became a bum. Like I was doing nothing at all. It was like I don't know, I hiatus or something you call it. I don't know, but I was never productive in the first few days and few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it was at least a month, if not more. I was stunned. That's the only way I can describe it. I was stunned, and me, I'm reading, watching, and reading and watching all the time, right? So I was just non-stop consuming information, trying to make sense of it, because I have to make sense of the world to be able to participate in the world. But I reckon for a good month I was stunned, and it'd be like you'd wake up every morning and you'd be like, oh, how do I get through today? How do I deal with today? And then as time went on, like the stunned feeling left, and then I started to go, wait a minute, this is a wake up call. This is an opportunity. We were always like the climate crisis when it was going to hit, like, America's waiting for this incredible 20-foot waves to come with this storm tonight, right? We were always going to be facing incredible economic hardship with the climate crisis, and we're not sure how it was going to be, whether it was the glacial melt from the Himalayas with billions of people at the bottom of those Himalayas, or drought, one or the other, right? So we were always going to have a massive economic impact from an event. I wasn't expecting it to be a global pandemic. And so that's why I was stunned. That wasn't what I was thinking about, but it was always going to happen. We've been waiting for it. But to live in the time when it did happen, I think for most people it was just like, it was a shock, right? But and it takes time for the shock to wear off. But I'm not a person that sinks into being down. I need to come up, right? I need to come up. And then the next phase I suppose I went into is, how can I help? How can I help the people in my community? How can I reach out to people? How can I be a voice that's going to lift people up in this time? And I think the longer this goes on, the more that we have to do that, right? So your voice of inspiration, and you did that same thing. You went straight into a place of inspiration, helping your community, lifting your people up.
Yeah. And just to give an idea, TNC is now a fully registered corporation here in the Philippines, and it was born out of lockdown. May 15, we just decided that people need inspiration. How do we do it? We don't have stage anymore, so maybe there's another platform where we can inspire people. So became TNC.
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant. No, I've been watching. I've been cheering you on, just saying it's brilliant work. I really love it. It's people talk about pivoting, right? But it's just really showing that it's a time for innovation. When we look back on this time, we won't remember the days. We'll remember the people who inspired us. We'll remember the people who innovated, who created something that didn't exist before, that makes the world a better place, or makes our work possible, or that's what we'll remember. So sometimes when you're in the middle of a moment, you can't look at it with hindsight. But I think if you can sort of think about, like, any significant time in history, what do we remember? We remember the people who made a real difference. And there's lots of ways you can make a difference. So for all you guys listening, get out there and make a difference. It's a time of innovation.
Yeah, exactly. And who would have thought that, the way television has been doing it for many decades, you can now do it right here. I mean, set up a studio somewhere in your house and then broadcast or live stream from it. But anyway, okay, so let's take a step back. We would like to know, I know already, but we would like to know how you started as a professional speaker, the journey that you took prior to becoming, a global professional speaker, specifically CSP, or Certified Speaking Professional. It's a very high, distinguished title for a speaking professional in the world. Tell us about your journey.
You'll be getting one of those soon. The journey. Well, you can probably tell from my accent that I'm.
It was the COVID that prevented me. I'm applying. I'm ready to apply, and then this happened. Anyway, your journey.
Well, you can probably tell from my accent that I'm originally from Australia. So I left Australia 25 years ago, and my professional field has always been in the communications space. So, actually, my first job, I was a musician in the Australian Army. So hello to your mum and dad in Australia. And then I went into communications for the Defence Force, and then but pretty much I sort of landed in London in 1995 as the technology revolution was really taking off. So started off in technology, public relations from mid-90s, and then I went to Boston, worked for the same agency there, sort of New York for a bit, and then went back to Australia, and then I landed in Singapore in 2003, where I was doing, it was called marketing services back then, but really what it was content marketing. And so then, that really evolved. And then when social media and blogging and all of that sort of came out, for me, I just jumped on it because I love it. I love writing. I love communicating. I love sharing knowledge. So I spent, more than a decade publishing blogs and just participating in, social. The goodness of social media is so amazing. It's a life changer. But I also know the bad side of social media too, right? And in that 10 years, so I moved into content marketing, and then I worked with Microsoft. Then I worked for a content agency, and I just kept seeing this gap in the market. And the gap was companies are creating amazing content, but nobody's sharing it. And the employees of big global corporations aren't sharing it. And so I realized that I needed to help activate professionals to go out there and own their voice. And of course, it ties to this bigger message of everybody should own their voice. One of the negative sides of social media is that we've got a small group of people, the trolls, the bullies, the horrible people, right? But they've got a much, much larger space on social media that we think that there's more of them, but in reality, there's not. There's just less of us people who are positive out there sharing a positive message. So I'm really, I've got a real passion for that. So the speaking thing has always been part of the professional work and speaking at events. But I just remember it was probably 5-6 years ago, I was sitting at an event. Somebody was talking about content marketing, and I just didn't agree with what they were saying. And I'm sitting in the audience, and I'm like, well, if I don't agree with what they're saying, then I need to get up on stage and give people my perspective and see if they agree with me. And so that was the beginning. Really? It was just, the guts to get up on stage, right? And really stand, because I don't want to be on stage. I don't actually enjoy. I prefer. I don't mind doing this, but I don't want to do it. But if you've got a message that you really believe in, and you want to get that message out there, you just got to go for it,
Exactly. The motivation was clear, nonetheless, right? You want to be heard because you don't agree. Otherwise, people may take it as, gospel truth. Like, nobody's contesting the idea, so that must be right? So that's an interesting part. And I should agree that there must be some reasons why employees don't engage in social media, be the ambassadors for their brands or companies. Maybe because of the policy of the organization, or who knows what. But when you go into this space, and now that you're a professional speaker, prior to becoming one, what were the challenges that you faced? I'm sure you came from a space of communications, but this one is a stage. This one is involving audience participation and perception of you as a figure on stage.
I think the hardest thing for anyone to get on stage is to have a belief in their own message and to believe that they've got something of value. And obviously participating on social media, putting my blogs out there, I was probably a little bit further ahead as far as confidence in speaking up. But speaking on stage is actually quite a daunting thing for many, many people. I think if you're committed to your message, and then you've got to look around for the channels where you can share your message. It's a different thing to wanting to be a speaker. If you want to be a speaker because you want to be a speaker, you can do that too. But if you're committed to your message and what you're sharing and the change that you want to drive, the intention behind why you do what you do, I think sometimes just getting the confidence in yourself. So when I talk to a lot of the younger speakers coming through at the Speakers Academy that we run through Singapore, that's the thing. It's not that they don't know what their message is. It's the confidence to get up there and really unleash their voice. So I suppose I didn't struggle with the unleashing the voice bit. I struggled with the channel of getting onto a stage and speaking. I'd rather be in the background, always.
All right.
Most people wouldn't believe that.
Unfortunately, you cannot speak at the background, right?
Well, you can, but you got to get out there, If you believe what you're doing.
Andrea, I'm not paying you to speak backstage. I'm paying you to speak in front. right?
Yeah.
Okay, a digital conversationalist. Digital conversationalist. I don't know if it is trademarked or not. I hope it is. Otherwise, I can do it for you. But branding. Let's talk about branding and how you're able to particularly position yourself as that. When we talk about digital conversation, it should be you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose there's a couple of different sides to it. So you were talking about the challenges of getting employees to stand up and speak on behalf of their companies. So I know the reasons why employees don't. They don't feel that they've got permission to. And also the hierarchy of most businesses typically only values the voice of the people at the very top of an organization. And so that's something that I've always wanted to sort of shatter. The silos of business and the hierarchy of business actually don't serve the audience of the business. So getting your people to go out there and speak their truth and speak up. And of course, they've got to do it in a respectful way if they're speaking on behalf of the company or if they're just a member of the company, of course. But giving your employees permission to go out there and own their voice it's a game changer for business. So I've been working with big companies, and I've got a case study with IBM which I've published, and I've got another one. But we've proved that when you unleash your employees, especially your technical sales, your executive teams, and your broader employee base, it can generate 20, 50, $100 million in customer wins, pipeline. So the return is massive, but it also gives employees confidence in themselves. They feel more in control of their careers. They believe in their company more. They believe in social media and social selling because they see that it actually matters, right? So, that proof, I've got the proof, and I suppose that's what gives me the credibility to get out there and say what I want to say. But, it all started with somebody giving me a chance, and it was one of the CMOs, Nishan Weerasinghe at IBM. He gave me a chance. He knew that I didn't have a proven methodology, but he knew that it was potentially what the business needed to really transform the company from the inside out. And together we were able to to prove that worked by getting thousands of employees out there, really embracing social media, talking about things, not just technology, just things that they cared about. Some talk about spirituality or mindfulness, but it's about unleashing your employees, giving them the confidence to step into their voice, because customers buy from people, right? And they buy from interested people. Yeah, they buy from people they trust.
They don't buy directly from the board of directors. This hierarchy you're talking about, right? They do have some important voice when it comes to investments and things like that. But when it is marketing down the ground, again, you what you're saying is right. It's the people. Yeah. It's the people.
Yeah. So trust. You shouldn't be hiring them if you don't trust them to go and speak up, right? So that, to me, it's such a crazy thing. Or what if they say the wrong thing? I'm like, well, why are you hiring them? It's like, if you can't trust your people, what's the point?
Ironic.
So,
but I feel organizations are somehow afraid of, people might be saying this and that. But again, it's a reflection of who they are as a company.
Yeah, well, I come from a PR background, and it was all about controlled messaging, structured messaging, and the digital world, and especially with social media, it's not about control anymore. It's all out of control. So and every employee in a business is part of social media in some form or another. So you may as well empower them to participate in a way with integrity. So I always say you've got to participate with integrity and a mindset of service. And if you can do those two things, and you can empower your employees to go out there with that approach, it's a total game changer for business. It's totally a game changer.
But what I can imagine now is 2 words: beautiful chaos. You're talking about not controlling anymore, so it's beautiful chaos. Regardless if it's chaotic, as long as it is empowering for people, I guess it makes sense.
Well, we're certainly going through a time of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess too much control is getting in the way of really exploiting the full potential of our organizations today. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a short commercial, and then when we come back, I'm going to ask you about this Asia Professional Speakers Convention, which you are pretty much so involved. So I'm going to pause for commercial, and let's talk about that when the big picture on TNC returns. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Since I got my new place, I've enjoyed every single day here. Hotel-like amenities, attentive staff, resort-style living, all in a premium location. So life here is easy and convenient. That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy the very same things I enjoy at home. What a life! So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC.
We need beauty every day. We need power every day. But are you ready?
Ready? Ready.
Beauty is power.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on the new channel. Before calling back my guest for tonight, the very special guest for tonight from Phuket, Thailand, I'm inviting you to watch our other shows on TNC. HR Hotline streams live Thursdays or Thursdays and Saturdays at 12 noon. The Family Business, which is going to premiere on Saturdays at 4 p.m. The Fart Project, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Dubai time and 11 p.m. Philippine time. Usapang Beauty, Thursdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. The Home Buyer, Mondays, Thursdays at 4 p.m. The Puppet Stories, Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. TNC Marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. YOLO with attorney Carla and attorney Sheila, Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. TNC The Talk, Mondays at 12 after shift, Wednesdays, Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. TNC Town Hall, first and fourth Saturdays, 7 p.m. of each month, alternating with 1 day, second and third Saturdays, 7 p.m. each month. Now, the world premiere of The Family Business will happen on August 29, 4 p.m. To know more about The Family Business, watch this short clip that I am going to play. Again, the world premiere of The Family Business with Nato Agbayani will be on August 29 at 4 p.m. It's a Saturday. Again, I would like to thank our other guests here on The Big Picture. Last 5 seasons, we interviewed 90, more than 90 people in that one beautiful picture. Thank you so much for your continued support on The Big Picture and the new channel. Now, I'm going to call back my guest, my very special guest for tonight, live from Phuket, Thailand. Andrea Edwards is a certified speaking professional and very active in organizing the Asia Professional Speakers Convention. Welcome back to the show, Andrea. All right, good. So let's talk about the Asia Professional Speakers Convention. Everybody's excited. I think you are pumped up.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. So, as you know, we started organising this a year ago. Wendy Tan, the amazing Wendy Tan, is the convention chair. And we got a group of volunteers together, but of course we were going to deliver a physical event in May. And we realised around about February that we knew it wasn't going to happen, so it was postponed. But putting a digital event on, while people might think it's actually easier, it's actually a lot harder because, one, we knew it wasn't just about doing what we'd done before at convention, putting it on digital. We had to do something quite special and quite unique. So it's spread over 5 days. We're doing 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, as well as a deep dive lab session in the middle of the day, mainly because people don't want to sit in front of a screen all day. So the whole process was thinking through the physical experience as well. So 2 hours, so that's doable. You can still work. You can still do what you need to do around that. But the other thing is the quality of the information, the quality of the content. It had to be so good that people couldn't resist but sign up for it. So we're really passionate about it. Day one is all about where we are today. We've got futurists. We've got Thinkers 50. We've got inspiration. We've even got a scientist who's working on a part of the COVID scientific research, right? So just to talk in truth about where science is with what we're facing so that we know where we're going. Day two is all about your marketing, your voice, who are you in the world right now and who do you need to be? So topics like integrity are part of it. We're going to talk about obviously content marketing, how to be engaging in a situation like this. How do you get an audience and keep an audience? So
Right.
lots of different aspects on that day.
That is very important because, again, the stage was taken away from us. Back then, we are talking to so many thousands of eyeballs, live eyeballs. I mean, we are looking at so many eyes, and now we are looking at a one-eyed webcam. So how do you how do you convince that one-eyed webcam? And you don't know the reaction of people. If there's anything, what we learned about professional speaking is, when we engage, it's very important that we see people eye to eye. And now we don't. I mean, some webinars don't allow you to see the reaction of people.
Yeah, it's hard, right? And a couple of years ago, I spoke at a convention, and I said, people were really focused on the physical stage, but my talk, I don't know if you remember, was all around. We've got to master the digital stage. Well, now that's the only stage we've got, right? So really mastering the digital stage. I think in these last 6 months, I've gotten a lot more comfortable doing things like this, whereas before I would have run away if you asked me, right? In the last couple of years, I've been doing more of it, but I'm sure you've gotten more comfortable just in these last 6 months too, right?
The same experience, because when I got an invitation doing a webinar, I said, why? Prior to COVID, I said, why will we do that? I mean, I protect my brand so much that I am known for a comedian on stage, inspirational comedian on stage. So you don't do comedy that easy when you do it in a web seminar. So I said, no, I prefer to be on physical setup. He said, okay, let's try to do that. And then March, everything is off. No one is going to the offices and things like that. So I said, okay, so how do I do that now? So I mean, the first few tries, it was a struggle. I think it's starting almost from beginners experience. Like how do you do it really? I mean, how do you convey the message with the same level of intensity and conviction that you will be the same convincing voice in that particular seminar when all you have is yourself in your room, little room, right?
Yeah. No, it's a different skill set. It's a different mindset, right? One of the ladies that's speaking, she's a broadcast producer, and she's done things like the X Factor, Big Brother, right? So she knows how to get millions and millions of eyeballs in front of a screen, and she's going to be one of the people on the marketing day, and it's all about how to get an audience in the first 30 seconds. And now you know what that takes, right? You know that it's not as easy as it looks. You know, when people are comfortable on the screen, it's not until you actually start doing it that you realize how hard it actually is to actually engage people, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you talk about engagement, and you talk about how, because the real issue is, we have the content that we know, but the way we deliver it now is different because the platform has changed. In fact, there's another challenge. What if your internet is cut off, right? I mean, how do you go back and things like that? So it's a very different world now. Our president, the Philippine Association of Professional Speakers, President Jessica Bustillo, is saying hello to you and welcome.
Hello.
So
I hope you're coming to our convention.
Yeah, for sure. Jessica Bustillo there. I'm going to connect you with him so we can have even more further conversation regarding your convention. But let's go. And we're going to have the convention, I guess, in October. Yeah, I don't know yet, but we're going to have that one as well. Okay, so
Yeah, cool. So days 1 and 2 really powerful. So one is the business, the big picture, the world. We've got Dr. Graham Codrington, who's a futurist. He's based out in South Africa. He's amazing. So it's going to be like real look at where are we today and where do we need to go next, right? Amazing, like global business leaders. It's fantastic. Anyone, but this isn't just for speakers. It's not just for professional speakers. This is for people who really want to know where we are. And then day 2 is all about marketing, your voice, your integrity. Again, if you want to build your influence, day 2 would be fantastic. Day 3, we're going to delve into the business of speaking. So the business models, things that we can be doing, things that we can be doing differently. Thursday, it's technology and tools. I am not a fan of the technology side of things. I think you've probably learned a lot this year with technology and tools, but we've got some amazing people who are going to bring that. And then the final day is really talking about, empathy, compassion, humanity, mindfulness. And I think that's going to be a really, really special day, because if we're not taking this opportunity to go within, I think we're really missing the opportunity to reflect and really understand what this time is about and what we can create out the other side. So it's an amazing, amazing convention, not just because I've been part of the volunteer team, but because the people that we've got speaking, it's going to be really mind-blowing.
Right, for sure. And I think you got an invitation right here. Jessica Bustillo, our president, says you will be invited to our convention. So you got a gig.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
Right, good. So in your particular case, what has changed? I mean, as a speaking professional for quite a while, what has changed now? So if you were to be a speaker on day 1, which is, again, the subject is about where we are right now. Is that the theme of day 1, where we are right now?
Yeah, and where we need to go, what the future looks like.
Okay.
One of the things I'm recommending to everyone right now is go and listen to all of the different futurists. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what they're thinking about. And you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but I think it's really important to go into their mind, because that's what they do. They think about, where we are and where we need to go. So if I was on day 1, I'd probably be doing the business case for how we can completely change our global business so that we can get in alignment with Mother Earth. That would be my topic if it was day 1.
Right. So I'm putting you as a futurist. What do you see in the future?
Oh, if you do listen to the futurists, there's 2 paths ahead for us. One is a really dark path, and it's not a good path. It's a path of despair, of deeper inequality, war, famine. It's really a dark path. And the other side is a path where we finally realize that the only way forward is to come together with global unity, where we recognize the challenges that we're facing as a global community and we overcome them together. So it's up to us which path we choose, right?
Right.
And I'm fighting for the path off to the right, the good path.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a no-brainer, but I mean, some people may choose otherwise. So okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, it is a no-brainer. I think part of the problem that we've got is that people don't understand that when they're holding on, when they're protecting, like the way people vote, I see they have this sense that they're protecting their future, but actually they're not protecting their future. They're protecting an idea that actually doesn't exist anymore. So, and it's hard for me to understand why would anyone make a decision that would, the refugee crisis. We need to solve it. We need to help these people, rather than, just pushing people back. They're human beings who are suffering.
Right.
So, bringing humanity back into the conversation, that sort of stuff. And I don't think the people who are thinking this way, I don't think they're bad people, but I don't know, maybe they just don't have the perspective. Maybe they haven't been out in the world. They haven't seen. That's the problem. People like me don't understand people like that, and we need to understand people like that because we can't change them in the way they think.
How can they not go out to the world? I mean,
I'm sure you in the Philippines you've got middle Philippines, like we've got middle America, we've got middle Australia, and people they have different priorities, and it's much more insular in the way they focus. And you've got social media channels which are that based on the algorithms of who they participate with are pushing messages to them that the rest of us don't see, right? So there's a lot that goes on, and then we have to be compassionate about. There was one of the Democratic candidates in America. He said, "There's two types of news that are coming into America, but we're only seeing one. So if you can't see the other, then you can't understand what the other people think or believe, because people passionately believe facts that we know are not facts, or are we wrong? Are they right? Right? So that's the problem. We're in this. It's a misinformation war, and the people who are playing this game are very, very deceptive. And I don't always believe the people who are being blamed for it. But there's some pretty interesting games going on in the world right now, and potentially very destructive games. And it's hard for us to understand why. Why would you want to do that? And we don't, right? So, but what we've got to do is we've got to reach out, and we've got to bring people back together. And try and understand each other and stop shouting at each other. I know in the Philippines there's a lot of division in the Philippines from a political perspective as well, right? Yeah. We have to bring people back together, and friends are raging at each other for having differences of opinions. I'm like, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, and that's something that's so simple, and it really resonated with me. But it's hard. I think people are finding it harder and harder to go high.
That's an interesting thing, because in the Philippines you talk about the crisis, and the crisis is making people fight each other. It can't be solved through politics. It can be solved through science and understanding of facts and information and ideas. Okay, so day 2 of the convention will be again, the theme will be second day of the convention.
So it's all marketing your voice, integrity. So it's really talking about really sort of claiming the thing that you want to be known for, right? What you and some people are going to have to get rid of what they were known for from before, because it's not relevant anymore. So I've been through the .com boom and the .com crash. I've been through a number of recessions, and one of the things that happens when the whole world contracts economically, and this is the biggest since the Great Depression, and it might even be bigger than that, right? But one of the things that happens is, before the crash, in the boom times, there's a lot of fluff around the edges, right? So there's, speakers, trainers, coaches, they're getting lots and lots and lots of work on amazing amounts of topics. But in a lean time, there's going to be less topics that businesses are really interested in spending their money on. So I think really refocusing on what's your message and is it relevant right now? I think that's going to be a really important thing for everybody to do. If it is relevant, great. But if it's not, really understanding, okay, wait a minute, I need to evolve my message. So really tracking the themes. What are the business priorities? Talking to your customers, So for me, the social leadership message has never been more important, because every business is now social. Every business is now digital. So companies are coming to me to help their executive leadership teams get ready to be out there on social media in an intelligent way as an executive, right? But there'll be some topics that just won't be relevant anymore. It's not a priority right now. So I think that day is going to be an important one for people to really sort of go, wait a minute, maybe I need to rethink where I am. And that's okay. It can be a bit scary for people, but it's an important thing to do.
Yeah. I think it's scary for some, especially if they have been holding on to the particular topic for the longest time. Okay, the third day of the convention again is going to be what?
So it's the business of speaking. So business models. How can you run a successful business now? What are the different opportunities for us? The travel and tourism sector, the events industry, everyone's been decimated, right? So what we've got to do is we've got to work out, okay, what business can we create now that can help us to make it through this time and potentially thrive in this time? So there's a lot of really fantastic people that are going to come and share the different things that they've been doing, the different business models that they're focusing on. So
are you allowed to spill one bean tonight?
Are you allowed to what?
To spill one bean. I mean, give us what particular business model that you know of that will be coming up from the convention.
Oh no! I mean, oh God, where do you even start? Obviously, it's all going to be online. It's all going to be virtual. So there's going to be online.
Can you give us an idea on, based on what you know now? You have screened a lot of speakers talk about the subject. So can you share with us something that is going to be shared during the convention here now tonight?
So obviously one of the big opportunities for a lot of speakers will be to take their training and their speeches online, and so that they have multiple offerings where you can sell your online training courses, integrated it with your books. So there's lots of different ways that we can sort of restructure the content that we've already got, but then also make it something that you can sell. So that's not something I've found a lot of success with in the past. I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of free stuff right now. So people paying for things is a little bit more challenging. So we're going to have some people. Day 3 wasn't my expertise. Wendy Tan did it, but the people who I've been reading that are coming, it's really talking about those skills. I don't like to use the word pivot because everyone's using the word pivot, but really it is about pivoting what you've done in the past to being relevant in today in a digital environment. This is where we exist today.
Right. But when we talk about business, I mean, how is business of speaking doing right now based on what we know?
There's a few speakers that I'm hearing around the world that are doing well. It's still all virtual. We're seeing some pretty rapid progress in technology, like holographic technology. I think we will see some of the ideas around technology that people have been talking about in the future. I think we'll see them come to market much faster, and they'll be much cheaper very quickly. I think there'll be some people who will be happy to never get on a plane again after this is all over, because they'll be able to build an entire business that they can run virtually. So, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. But I think that's more for, if you're a trainer, if you're a coach, or if you're a speaker and you want to make money on the digital platforms, I think this day is going to really help you to work out what's the best way for you to do that.
Okay, no, perfect. Now I'm going to pause for another commercial, and then when we go back, we are going to talk about the 4th day of the convention and some games. If you're in, we'll have a game. All right, the picture and will return. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching the big picture on the new channel. I'm going to bring back my guests for a game. Andrea Edwards is a certified speaking live from Phuket, Thailand. Okay, our game is called Big or Small. So it's a very easy game with a little bit of calculus and algebra and trigonometry. Are you ready?
Oh God.
No, kidding. No mathematics. Big or small? I'm gonna mention an item and tell me if you prefer it to be small or big. Ready? It doesn't look like you're ready. Are you ready?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Not ready, but let's move on. Coffee, big or small?
Big in the morning.
Come on. Okay.
Big.
Milk tea.
Which one?
Milk tea.
Small.
Small. Okay. Car.
Yeah. Big.
House.
Big.
Family.
Small.
Credit limit.
Small.
Planet in the solar system.
Infinite. Big.
Bed.
Big.
Wristwatch.
Don't like them. Small.
Handbag.
Big.
Okay, answer the question. If heaven is true, who do you want to take with you to heaven when you're going to go up tonight?
I'd have to say my lovely husband, Steve.
If you are a barber, who do you want to cut hair?
It's an interesting question. Who Beyonce. I think that would be a good challenge.
It is. It's a good challenge. If you're a gym instructor, whose political leader you want to train in the gym?
Donald Trump.
Good luck. If you're an astronaut, who do you want to take to the outer space?
My son Lex.
If one is to be left behind, who will that be?
Me.
Okay. Okay. Final question. If you have all the money in the world, which company are you going to buy?
If I had all the money in the world, I'd give it to the World Food Program.
Okay. You did not answer the question, but thank you so much for playing the game. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go back. The 4 day of the convention is about compassion and things like that. So tell us something about that.
No. Day 4 is about technology and tools.
Technology and tools, yeah.
And that's just, my nemesis. I obviously do a lot of things on social media, on blogging platforms, but by no means a master. I'm seeing so many people talking about all the things that they're doing. They've got switches, they've got this, they've got that, they've got lights, and so for me, it's incredibly overwhelming. If it's not easy to use, I'm just not one of those people that will ever dig deep and go into technology and understand it, because it's just not a passion, right? But we do need to understand it, and we do need to understand it to an extent that even if we can bring in an outsourced partner that can help us with stuff, we need to understand what we're doing. So it's really going to be about various platforms, right? So again, online learning platforms will be part of it. We've got Dr. I think it's Aisha Khanna. I think it's Aisha. She's going to be talking about, the sort of the combination of humans and technology and artificial intelligence. So I think that's going to be a fascinating perspective, because understanding where technology is going is, something that we all need to be doing, but within the context of our profession, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly agree, because for the longest time we have been saying no to technology. I mean, it's easier for us to just take on stage and then blah 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 blah, and then get the professional fee and go down and move on to another speaking engagement. So now it's different. So it's kind of again remodeling, just using technology right now, understanding it. I think is as crucial. Okay, so what else are we missing for the convention?
Yeah. So then in day 5, it is humanity, compassion, empathy. So a lot of inspiration, mindfulness, just helping people sort of to learn the skills and the techniques where they can sort of get their mind into a place of, not control, but we're all going through the world's in a place of anxiety and in a place of fear at the moment. So really helping people to sort of identify the feelings that they're feeling, and then how to manage those feelings so that we can be strong for other people. And it's finishing off with Ron Kaufman, and I'm really looking forward to Ron's speech because I know he's going to do something he's never done before. He's going to talk in a way that he's never talked before. He's the customer.
Of course, I've seen his clip about being trapped, and the experience that he went through. I think he's going to share that experience. And again, you're saying that it's never been discussed before, so it's brand new.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I think he's as we're all getting a bit older, you start to sort of change the way you think and see the world and different priorities. And I think Ron's just about to move into that, just a new stage as a professional speaker and as a superstar speaker. So I think it's going to be quite a privilege for all of us to hear what he's got to say. So I think, and he's closing out day 5, and by that point, so the volunteer team, there's a whole bunch of us. I think by that point, we will be looking for our beds because we'll be exhausted by the end of the week. But it's 5 days of magic, and I want everyone there. I just really want everyone there because we put so much heart and soul into it, because we knew that we needed a special convention, and we needed the type of people that are really going to make a big impact on people, whether it's state of mind or abilities that we need to develop, or the message that we need, or just the understanding of the world that we're in and that we're going to move into next. I think it's going to be a really special 5 days. You're coming, right?
I think I'm coming. Why not?
You better.
I'm not yet registered, but I think I'm coming.
All right.
Send me
Make
the
sure you
secret
do.
link. Send me the secret link.
Okay.
Like a backstage pass or something. All right, so let's invite them again to join the Asia Professional Speakers Convention happening next month. Is it next month?
No, it's happening.
No.
So it starts on Monday.
Okay,
so
31st Monday. Sorry.
No,
okay.
And then it's next month, 31st of August to the 4th of September. So the day 1 is on Monday, and go to AsiaProfessionalSpeakersConvention.com. There's a first timers registration. Obviously, you're not a first timer, Lloyd, so you can't use that one. Just put my name, and you get, it's Singapore $99. So in US currency, that's like $73. I don't know what it is in pesos. You'll have to help me with that conversion.
Okay, they just multiply it by 50. So 73 times 50. Yeah. 3,000
Right, okay.
pesos or something.
Yeah. But it really is amazing in value for the quality of the people, how much is going to be given to people, and also the community that will be built up around the convention. So creating something offline while you're online is a really important thing to achieve as well. The beauty of our speakers conventions is we all get together, we all have fun together, we laugh, we cuddle, we cry, we celebrate, right?
Did you know that 2 years ago I celebrated my birthday in Singapore just during the convention, May 12. That was May 12. Yeah. So
we have fun.
Yeah, we had fun, but now it's different, really different.
Yeah.
No shaking of hands and exchanges of business cards and things like that. Anyway, all the best to our convention, Andrea. Thank you so much for coming. Is there a social media account that you want people to follow? Please, you can announce.
For me or for APSS?
For you and for the convention.
All right. So just go to Asia Professionals. What is it? Asia Professionals. I've got it wrong, haven't I? AsiaSpeakersConvention.com or Asia Professional Speakers Singapore. There's a public Facebook page. There's a website, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We're kind of, I think it's APSS Speakers on Twitter and Instagram. So we're everywhere. And then for me personally, it's Andrea T. Edwards is my professional handle for Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm active across all. I'm active in other ones, but that's more my sort of personal stuff rather than my professional stuff. I'm easy to find.
For sure. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, digital conversationalist Andrea Edwards, certified speaking professional, live from Phuket, Thailand. Thank you so much, Andrea, for this honor.
Thanks for having me, Duff.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the big picture is presented to you by Puzzlebox BPO Inc., also sponsored by SMDC Unisol Ruler Entrepreneur, Step Back, Creative Voices, PAPS, and PALP. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga nanood. Yesterday, we had attorney Jeremiah Bellica, the Director General of Philippine Anti-Type Authority, discussing about how you can streamline the government processes in order for us to get our much needed relief in processing business requirements. And next on the big picture tomorrow, we're going to have Nato Agbayani, the host of the upcoming TNC show, The Family Business. We're going to talk about how he expects his show to be, the format, and what he plans, envisions himself in the show. And after this program, please stay on stream. YOLO with Attorney Carlo and Attorney Sheila is next. Scam Alert Part 2, Staffa by Fraudulent Means. Maraming salamat po ulit sa lahat ng mga nanood. And I'm going to see you again tomorrow night. Same time. Thank you so much. This is Lloyd Luna, your host, The Big Picture on the new channel. Bye-bye.